Rome, one of the most powerful, most enduring empires in human history. We remember it for its massive legions, its glorious structures, and its great emperors. But the true engine that powered Roman grandeur lies in the story of millions who were often invisible. The slaves. At its peak, an estimated 1 in 3 people in Rome was enslaved. So, what was life truly like at the dark foundation of this magnificent civilization? How did a soul, waking up under the shadow of a master, spend their day? And where did they find a sliver of hope? To understand Roman slavery, we must first grasp this. It was a status, not a matter of race. It was the consequence of losing a war, falling into debt, or simply being born into servitude. This status defined every aspect of their survival. We can divide them broadly. First, the Urbanus, or household slaves. They often enjoyed better conditions, working in skilled roles, from doctors and tutors to specialized chefs. Sometimes, a talented household slave held a more privileged position than a poor free citizen. But the vast majority were the Rustici, agricultural slaves, or those toiling in the deadly mines. These were the ones who rarely saw the sun, endured the hardest labor, and suffered under the most brutal conditions. Their lives were starkly reduced to a simple commodity in the marketplace. The slave's day began long before the Roman sun cleared the horizon. For the Rustici, it was a brutal summons to the fields, working from dawn till dusk under the relentless watch of an overseer. In the mines, the conditions were even deadlier, where life expectancy was often shockingly short. For the Urbanus, the routine was less physically crushing, but demanded constant, silent attentiveness. Their morning started with lighting the lamps and preparing the Peculium, the breakfast for the master's family, a meal they themselves rarely shared beyond meager scraps. While they prepared exotic dishes and rich wine for the elite, the slave's diet was deliberately kept basic, providing just enough energy for labor. Their staple was Puls, a simple, thick porridge made from spelt or wheat, often mixed with olives, beans, and scraps of fish. They ate to survive. Their masters ate for pleasure. Their clothing reflected their position: functional, cheap, and disposable. They typically wore a simple, undyed tunic made from rough wool or linen. Unlike the flowing togas of the Roman citizen, the slave's simple attire was a constant, visible marker of their legal status: property, not person. Yet, even in this existence, there was a glimmer of hope: manumission. Slaves could sometimes earn freedom by their master's will, but more often, they bought it. They saved their small earnings, their peculium, which their master legally owned, to purchase their own liberty. Saving enough to buy freedom was a struggle that could take a lifetime. Even when freed, the libertus, the freedman, was never truly equal. They still owed loyalty and specific duties to their former master. But they were no longer property. They were no longer simply property. And that was everything. The glory of Rome, the vastness of its empire, was built upon the relentless labor and silent endurance of these millions. Their stories, often overlooked, are the true foundation of ancient history. If you're passionate about uncovering the unseen stories and strategic brilliance of the past, make sure to subscribe to Tactics and Tales. Next time, we move from culture to pure strategy. We'll break down Hannibal's masterful deception, the Battle of Cannae strategy that led to Rome's most devastating loss. Click here to watch, and don't miss out.